Oh, wow. So, oh, hello. Welcome to the Vintage Cookbook Nerd. My name is Trista and I am enjoying, oh my gosh, this amazing peppermint ice cream. And the recipe is from 1942, so worth the effort. So come along with me in this journey of ice cream heaven and discover how to make this cooked custard based ice cream. It is just so fabulous. So definitely stick around and see the tasting with my family and all the steps in between and whether or not the ice cream maker works. So lots of things to discover here together. So thank you for joining me and let's get going on that recipe. So today for our recipe for peppermint ice cream, we're using two cookbooks, the Cross Creek Cookery one from 1942 and then the Delineator Cookbook from 1928, a couple of my favorites. We're using two because this recipe for peppermint ice cream, it calls for 1 cup of boiled custard, but there are no recipes for boiled custard in here, so it assumes you know how to make that. But I have not made it before, or at least not to my recollection. So luckily I found a recipe in here for plain soft custard, which will suffice for this. It will have a little extra, but we can use it for something else. Perhaps another flavor of ice cream. So I love how this one talks about if eggs are expensive, it tells you things you can do. So we'll be talking about that a little bit later. Let's jump right into making the recipe. So we are starting the recipe with 2 cups of whole milk. And I'm putting this in the top of a double boiler, which means that there's this pan that fits into another pan, and in the bottom we have water, which we are boiling. And it says to scald the milk, which means to heat it to hot to the touch, but not boiling. So I'm gonna come back when that is done and show you that. And then we'll be mixing in our other ingredients to finish up the custard. While that milk is heating up in the double boiler, we're gonna get our other ingredients ready. So we have 2 whole eggs, or if you want it a little bit richer, you can use 4 egg whites. You can hear the water coming to temperature there. And then I have 4 tablespoons of granulated sugar here. And then an 1/8 teaspoon of kosher salt, or any type of salt that you enjoy. We're just gonna whisk that up. And we're gonna be mixing this with the hot milk and then returning it to the pan very shortly. Now, the only other ingredient we have is a 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla, but I'm gonna add this after we take the custard off the heat so we get the most flavor out of that. So I'm gonna set this aside until we're ready to mix it with the hot milk. We'll be right back. So we have here our egg mixture, and then we have the scalded, really hot milk, as you can see. So I'm going to be whisking and adding the hot milk at the same time, very slowly. This sort of tempers the mixture. And then we're gonna add it back onto the double boiler, and we're gonna be whisking and cooking until the egg mixture coats the spoon and it's nice and thick. So I will be showing you that cooking process in just a moment when we return. So this is going to take a few minutes of whisking in order to get it thick enough. So I'm going to do this mostly off camera, but I will be back in a little bit. And this is going to be the big part of the base of our ice cream. It's going to be super yummy. You can make ice cream with a cooked custard, or you can just, not do the cooked custard, but I think the cooked custard adds a lot of delicious flavor. So anyways, let's check it out in a little bit. I'll be right back. So the boiled soft custard is finished. I put this spoon in here, which you can see that coats nicely the back of the spoon, and it stays put on there. So you can see this is just kind of a pourable custard, but it is slightly thickened. And so we're gonna add in our little bit of vanilla there. Get that all in there and stir that up. Normally I would put a little more vanilla, but since this is a peppermint ice cream, I'm not gonna worry about that. So we're gonna let this cool and then go on with the rest of our recipe. So we are on to the fun part of our recipe. So it calls for 10 penny peppermint sticks. Can you imagine paying a penny for this? That would be so amazing. But anyway, these are some kind of peppermint cocoa stirrers that I found at the store, and they came in a pack of 10, so I thought I wanted to be as authentic as I could. So I crushed the rest of these. I just put them in a Ziploc bag and then went like this. I will spare you the rest of the noise there. But anyway, I'm gonna finish doing this, and then I will be over at the stove showing you the next step in just a moment. So we are here at the next step. So our double boiler is here again. I just washed it out from the custard, and we're gonna put 1 cup of whole milk in here. And luckily the water is still fairly hot, so that will help speed up the process here. And I'm gonna put all of our crushed candy sticks. You can also use candy canes or just peppermint candies, whatever type of peppermint candy you can get. And just approximate the amount of 10 sticks. So I'm going to stir this around. We're going to be cooking this over the heat just for a little bit. We want to leave some of the chunks in, but we want to make sure that it heats up a little bit and gets nice and beautifully pink. So we'll be back in a moment. So we're on to the next step in this homemade ice cream. So we're gonna take the 1 cup of the cooked custard, the soft custard that we made. You can see how lovely it is. It's thick, but it's also pourable. So we're gonna combine that with the milk and peppermint mixture. And as you can see, most of the candy has dissolved. If you like it like this, you can leave it. Or later on, when we're ready to churn and freeze the ice cream, you can add in more crunchy bits. I still have some peppermint candies here, so I'm probably gonna crush a few and add them in just for a little texture there. It's not what the recipe calls for, but I love those little chunks. So this is gonna go in the fridge and cool down. Well, I'm gonna give it probably about half an hour and then check it. Once it's completely cooled, then we're gonna add in the 2 cups of heavy cream, some of the crushed candies, and then we will get it into our freezing canister here to make our ice cream. Okay, so now we are back. We have the cooled peppermint milk mixture, or peppermint custard mixture here. And then we have 2 cups of heavy cream. So we're gonna combine those. What I love about this cookbook, the Cross Creek one, is that excuse me, the author talks a lot about her cow Dora, and it really makes you want to get a cow because cows are cute. Plus, she talks about the incredible cream that Dora produces, so everybody is jealous of that. So ever since I read that book, I've always wanted to have a little Dora cow. Wouldn't that be sweet? But anyway, here's our, ooh, that is so pretty and swirly. Look at that. Ooh, I love it. So let's mix this together, and it is a glorious color. And then I did end up crushing all those peppermint candies I had, probably 10 to 15. And I'm just gonna throw those in there. I like to have a few chunks of peppermint in the ice cream. I feel like it's nice to have that bit of crunch. So we're gonna mix that in. And what we're gonna do is, the recipe just says freeze, but that really means you do need to churn it in an ice cream maker. So this is the cylinder and paddle. And then the top, we have a very old ice cream maker. It does plug in, it's electric, but it's very basic, but that works great for us. So I'm gonna be pouring this in here and getting it churning. And when it's partway churned, I will show you what it looks like in kind of the ice cream maker setup. So we'll be back in a bit. Actually, before we start the churning process, I just want to show you that the ice cream mixture is here in the metal canister along with the kind of beater thing here. And then we put the lid on. This is just very similar. We want to get that on tight. This is similar to the crank one that we had as kids. And so you put ice around here and then ice cream salt. I will show you that in just a moment. So we are back with some ice, which we're gonna pour around the canister. We're gonna need more than this, but I just wanted to demonstrate this. And then with each layer of ice, you want to put this ice cream salt. It's really, really coarse, as you can see. And what we used to do as kids is we would take turns cranking the ice cream in the summers because we had one of these, but it just had a hand crank instead of the motor on top. So I'm just going to show you the motor part. This is it. It just goes on top, kind of clips in over here, actually the other way. And yes, so you want to get that there, and then the center over here. And if you can see that, we're going to lock this down. So that is all put together. We're gonna put a lot more ice and salt in here, but then all you have to do is plug it in. It's pretty noisy, so I usually keep it in the garage, plugged in if possible. So then it's not making quite as much noise in the rest of the house. So let's get this going. I'll be back when it's partially churned. All right, so the family is here. My son Adam, my husband Paul, to try the peppermint ice cream.
It looks like soap.
Yes, hopefully it tastes better. From Cross Country Cookery.
Is it like a cooked?
It's like a custard base.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm. It's amazing.
Oh my gosh.
Adam approved.
Wow.
Really good.
This is so, wow, it's so worth doing the custard.
Like the texture is
that
so
is
good.
Amazing.
And
oh
the
my
peppermint,
gosh.
it's like.
Yes. This is a great one. It's really worth the effort, I would say.
Oh my gosh. It's got the right amount of peppermint too. It's like really nice.
10 penny sticks that are no longer a penny, but
Oh, really? There's peppermint sticks in this?
yep, just crushed up. And you kind of blend it with the milk, so.
Wow.
Were they a penny in like 1942?
Yep.
Delicious. Top notch.
Nice.
Would like it on the side with every holiday dessert.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks.